at all. In fact, go ahead and show this quote here, and I'll read it along for you. James Cone, the founder. Black theology refuses to accept a God who is not totally identified with the goals of the black community. If God is not for us and against white people, then he is a murderer, and we had better kill him. The task of black theology is to kill gods who do not belong to the black community. Black theology will accept only the love of God, which participates in the destruction of the white enemy. All right, so most of you are probably thinking, I've never heard that in my church. That's because if you went to a Christian church, they wouldn't say that. But I wanted to draw the difference that Black liberation theology is not actually Christianity. What it is it's a communist. It's a subset of the communist revolution. It's a communist ideal they have specifically tailored for black people. And then let's go. I have a couple of nice pictures of some Obama supporters in their Obama campaign outpost. And notice the Che Guevara posters there in the background. Of course, he was an Argentine Marxist revolutionary and still held as the symbol of change, there's that word again, in the current worldwide communist revolution. Learn a little bit about Barack Obama's family, as long as we're doing this little bio excerpt on Barack Obama. His youngest brother, George Hussein Obama, lives in a hut in Kenya. It's the same father as Obama. He said, "No one knows who I am." He lives there on less than $1 per month. Can you imagine that? And he's ashamed because of who he is and how far he is a difference from Obama. He's this huge, celebrity, rich person, political candidate. And I just wanted to share one quote that Obama used recently this year. "Whatever you do for the least of my brothers, you do for me." So I guess, Obama doesn't seem to have done much for the least of his brothers, literally here. The least of his brothers living off less than $1 a month, while Obama's out spending $150 million a month on his political campaign. Can't seem to funnel maybe 20 or 30 bucks to this brother in Kenya so he can upgrade his hut to a shack or whatever. And let's learn about Obama's first cousin. Now, Obama pays this guy a lot more attention. In fact, he campaigned for Raila Odinga for the position of prime minister in Kenya while he was visiting, of course, Kenya on taxpayer-funded trips. Now, Odinga became the prime minister of Kenya, but not because he was elected. He lost the election, and after he lost the election, his parties, the ODM party's mobsters, went ahead and burned alive people in a Christian church and actually shot arrows at them as they tried to flee the burning building, but over 50 of them were burned alive. And then there was all kinds of other outbreaks and this ethnic cleansing. ODM is a radical Muslim organization. And in the end, the disputed election resulted in over 1,500 dead. UN's Kofi Annan stepped in and made a deal and said the guy that lost the election, Odinga, Obama's first cousin, who Obama campaigned for in Kenya, could go ahead and have the position of prime minister. And the other guy, which I forget his name at the time, was able to continue to keep the presidency, which was a separate position, and they had some kind of other stuff going on. But that's about where it's at. So let's sum this all up in just a brief moment here. Obama's life connections. His wife was proud of her country for the first time this year when Obama was assigned the Democratic nomination. Reverend Wright, we know what he said. Saul Alinsky, the Satanist and communist. Bill Ayers, the Marxist and anarchist. Tony Rezko, we didn't even mention him. You can look him up, though. He's a convicted felon of political fraud involving, the typical dirty communist Chicago politics. Raila Odinga, the Kenyan ethnic cleanser that fraudulently ascended to the prime minister position by burning churches. Frank Marshall Davis, the communist father figure. And not to mention, Hamas and Hezbollah have officially endorsed Obama as U.S. president. So, I don't know. It's just, folks, if it looks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, if it's hung around ducks its entire life, and if ducks were its mentors, if its first cousin is a duck, Its reverend is a duck. You know, its father figure was a duck. I think you get the point. Might be a duck. Might be a duck. And you might start understanding at this point why I've had the Communist Party flag in the background of all these charts, all these graphics that we've been looking up. Because Obama is a communist. Quod erat demonstrandum. Let's look at the Obama 95% tax cut. Well, the IRS shows that only 33% of Americans file taxes have tax liability. The Tax Foundation estimates under the Obama plan the number of non-taxpayers run 44% in this plan. Meantime, I thought I'd throw in there he's spending $150 million per month. But I'll tell you what, if only 33% pay tax, then how can 95% get a tax cut? Well, it's real simple. You take the taxes from one person and you give a tax cut. In other words, you give them money to the other person. Because they're not paying taxes, they can't get a tax cut. All they can do is get something else. So that brings, let's look inside the communist code words in this campaign and see where we can find the Marxism that's underneath it all. Change, Marxist communist revolution. Spread the wealth, redistribute wealth. Cut out tax breaks for the wealthy, redistribute income. 95% tax cut, redistribute income. European ideals, communism, Marxism. Patriotic equals pay more taxes. So as you can see, what we're about to do in this country, according to the polls, and that we showed at the beginning of the show, we had the polls that say Obama 49%, McCain 43%. So this country is about to elect a communist president, a certified communist as president for the first time in history. Well, you can say Jimmy Carter. I don't know. He wasn't a card-carrying communist. He certainly had socialist, communist leanings. And what is socialism? Well, it's just an easy, friendly name for a stepping stone, a bridge, if you will, from normal democracy and capitalism to communism. Because communism has got a bad rap, you know, over the years, and rightly so. I mean, there was only, you know, over 100 million people killed in the regime of Joseph Stalin. But, you know, the socialism, it's just a more acceptable stepping stone. It's kind of a slippery slope down to communism, and that's kind of where we're at now. But if we elect a certified communist as president, then I will be not proud of my country for the first time in my life. Unlike Michelle Obama, who will be proud of it for it becoming a fully communist country. So anyway, the viewer email segment. Some viewers pointed out to me last time they saw signs that said Obama, Biden, and they thought it said Osama bin Laden. Isn't that weird? But email us at doug@realdealpolitics.com. Let us know what you're thinking, how we're doing. Keep the comments succinct, okay? No long-winded condescending. Just give us your comments and your questions. Let us know how we're doing, how we can serve you in the future. I hope you learned something today about the worldwide communist revolution and how to avoid it. This is The Real Deal. It's Doug Cooke, out.